A very good evening and welcome to A Date with a Dinner Set programme 261 here on July the 20th. You are most welcome. I hope this finds you well and I hope you've had a good week. It is a little cooler, isn't it? Someone has temporarily turned down the thermostat on summer, it would seem. I feel sure it will warm back up. We shall see. So I am as intrigued as all of you about these fan rankings that are going on. That's just happened this evening. Nothing I've done, well, nothing intentional anyway. I will have to research that, or maybe in a bored moment, one of you could research why it's doing that. It's fascinating. Anyway, there we go. You are most welcome to A Date with a Dinner Set, and whether you're with us live or watching on the catch-up, I do hope you will enjoy this evening's fantastic, though I say so myself, selection of things. So, oh dear, we can't please all the people all the time, can we? Clearly. Now look, quite often my tie has something to do with some of the things going on in the programme. So I don't know if you can see what's going on there. So have a good look at all those phone boxes, because I can tell you in no uncertain terms that this tie has absolutely nothing to do with anything in this evening's programme. I just felt the need to say that, really. There we go. What were we doing? Oh yes, we opened the programme with a little bit of theme music, and indeed, as my brother said, that was the theme music to Pot Black, which started life in black and white on the BBC Two in 1969, and it was David Attenborough's idea when he was controller of BBC Two. And that programme ran through, I think, to the mid-80s. It's had a couple of revivals. It is the programme that famously gave that phrase from the commentator, for those of you watching in black and white, the pink is the one next to the green, which has obviously gone down in history. So the actual music was composed by this chap, George BOTSFORD, and George composed that merry little number in 1908. And as you can imagine, from 1908 there aren't that many high-resolution photos of him around, but there he is. He composed over 30 rags, but that one, Black and White Rag, has become his most famous one, and in no uncertain terms thanks to Pot Black. But in actual fact, it was made popular before Pot Black got their hands on it by this lovely lady, Winifred Atwell. Yeah, Winifred Atwell recorded it in 1952. She always has a lovely smile, that lady. And it is the Winifred Atwell recording that you hear on Pot Black. So that was our opening one. Oh, okay. Thanks for that, Mark. I guessed it was something to do with that. So does that mean that everyone has had at least one crown? I haven't had a crown. And I've commented, I want a crown, and I want a crown now. Anyway, I hope you're going to enjoy this evening's programme. As always, if you're with us live in the chat room, do chat away about the music, composer, the context, what you're eating, how you're enjoying the cooler weather, or not the humidity, all those sorts of things. We love to read about it in the chat room, do we not? I will have a sip of coffee, and then we will launch into our programme this evening. They're very pretty, all these crowns, aren't they? Oh, does that mean I'll get a load of points, Hannah? I will just break the system by just blathering on about nothing in particular. I wonder what your asterisks mean. I feel positively seasick with that lot of emojis, Hannah. Thank you for that. Indeed, sit down. You're rocking the boat from 1950. 1950 from Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls, composed by Mr. Smiley Frank Loesser. Frank Loesser, who, what else did he compose? He composed Baby It's Cold Outside. He composed on a Slow Boat to China. He composed all the music for the Hans Christian Andersen film, including a wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen and The Ugly Duckling and all sorts of things. This was his pièce de résistance, Guys and Dolls, from 1950, which was a very successful show from the get-go from Broadway and then its transfer to the West End, and in many revivals since. It's not that long ago since it was revived in the West End. I'm going to say around about 2016. I could be wrong on that. Fantastic show, full of lovely numbers, lively numbers like this one, which comes right at the end of Act 2. And it's a classic. We really like that one. It's always a good one to get us going on a date with an inner set. So I'm glad we've solved the mystery of all the crowns and the fan rankings. We have to have these things all sorted out for us, do we not? I'm going to have a little bit of coffee and then something a lot calmer for our second piece. Such a beautiful ballad, beautiful chord sequence, melody, and heart-wrenching lyrics composed, as I think my brother said, by Mr. Eric Clapton. That was indeed from 1991, Tears in Heaven. And yes, indeed, Mark, that is absolutely correct. Tragically, that song came about because of the death of Eric's 4-year-old son, who fell out of a New York apartment window. Absolutely horrific. And after a few years of, well, understandably doing nothing, he was inspired to write that beautiful song to share with the world. And it is, once you know that the sort of story behind it, it takes on a much greater meaning as well. Oh, I bet that sounds lovely on the guitar, James. Fantastic. Yeah, it's such a cracker, that one. We do like that one. A reminder to press the thumbs up button, and also if you're not subscribed to the channel, to subscribe to the channel. Why not? And leave a comment, share it on, and help our merry little channel to grow. So sort of continue the sort of theme of heaven, if you like. It's come to my notice that we are currently, we have just started the Perseid meteor shower. I know, it's exciting, isn't it, this annual event? I do remember blabbing on about it either last year or the year before. So it's visible from now and through to 24th of August. I gather the peak is on the 12th of August. And what do we know about the Perseid meteor shower is that it's the leftover debris from comet number 674 Toodle Pip Squid or something. It honestly has got some name like that. I did write it down to remember it, but I can't remember it now. But just reading the name of the comet makes me smile. So if we have some clear evenings, do keep a lookout for those meteors flying through a sky near you, possibly, maybe. Anyway, more coffee, and then on we will go. Well, if you combined all your answers, well, some of your answers, most of your answers, you'd get to the right answer because James has the correct performer and composer of that song. And Alison, you quoted, can't see it, but I know you quoted almost word for word the chorus hook from that wonderful song by Van Morrison, Moondance. Moondance. Oh, yes. I thought my little visual might give you a clue. Clearly not. Never mind. It doesn't matter because I tell you what, I really like making up these little videos. So that moon one, which was combined from about 18 video clips and some stills, only took a couple of hours, and it was to give you a clue. But you decided to ignore it, so that's fine. Just ignore it. What is that emoji? Next to Moondance. I can see the dance. Oh, I see. No, I get it now. Yeah, sorry. Moondance, Van Morrison. And he composed that in 1970, and it was the title track of his third studio album. He didn't release it as a single until 1977, but when he did, gosh, it became really entrenched as a really finger tapping, toe tapping, clicking, clacking, whatever jazz standard, because it is very much composed as a jazz standard. The whole chord sequence, it's based on modal jazz, it's based on the Aeolian mode, and it's a great standard that has been covered quite a lot of times, including by these people. Nana Muscori, who is still very much with us, by the way. I believe she's about 92 and a half now. Michael Bublé did an absolutely cracking version of it. Who else has done it? Herb Alpert and his wife Lani Hall singing, did a real belter of an arrangement of that as well. It's one of those that crops up all over the place, and as indeed, as soon as I started playing it, you all recognised it, but just remembering what it was called. So there we go. It's called Moondance for future reference. I just thought we'd say that. And somewhat topically, today, the 20th of July, is National Moon Day. I say national because this is from our friends across the pond. It could just as well be international because their celebration is a celebration for the whole of mankind, because on this day, of course, all those years ago, the moon landings took place. And that is what is being celebrated today, that momentous Neil Armstrong, followed by Buzz Aldrin in 1969. So today has been designated National Moon Day. So there we go. That is partly why we had Moondance. Also because we hadn't had it for a time, and it's a great piece of music. But it's always nice, isn't it, you know, to make the effort and link these things in and have a jolly good link up. We're linked in. I think that's been done before by somebody. Otherwise, it's a great idea, isn't it, as a business proposition. So there we go. That was our third piece of music. I feel we need to push on because I'm blathering too much. I'm trying to get crowns like all of you. You see, that's what it is. I'm clearly not going to get one however much I talk and however much 4 asterisks I talk. I'm clearly not going to get a crown. Never mind. Do enjoy our next bit of music. Nearly got my hand bitten then. Indeed, that of course was the iconic music to Jurassic Park. I'm not entering into this little argument going on in my chat room. I'm just going to keep jabbering away in the hope of getting a crown. I want a crown. I want a crown. Anyway, Jurassic Park, the original from 1993. And of course, one of those amazing pieces of music composed by the wonderful Mr. John Williams. Just look at all those films. I'm sure you know that he composed the music to all of those, and of course many others, still very much with us at the age of 93. What I didn't know about the music to Jurassic Park, which is iconic and real classic John Williams stuff, perfect fifths all over the place, lots and lots of French horns going on. What I didn't know is that he only scored the first two movies, and then lots of other people come along and continue the theme, if you like. So yeah, I was in a traffic jam, sort of watching cinemas who, of course, are screening Jurassic World Rebirth, and indeed Hannah has seen it. Fantastic. I believe that's number 7 in the series, and I'm also delighted that some of those themes that you just heard then are contained within that. So that is a good homage. We haven't had that one for a little bit on the show. So moving swiftly on, this week's upload was the beautiful Milonga del Angel by Astor Piazzolla. If you do not know that one, do give it a listen. It is a very haunting theme, composed in 1965 as part of his Angel Suite. And obviously he didn't write it for piano, he wrote it for bandoneon and tango orchestra, but even on piano I have to say it sounds quite good, because it's one of those very moving, haunting themes that just sticks with you. Yeah, so there we go. That is on the channel, and I think, yes, there is. I remember checking. There is a direct link beneath this if you want to look at this week's upload that went up on Friday, the Piazzolla. Okay, on to our next bit of music. almost composed in the same year as Spread a Little Happiness, but that was indeed, as Jill very quickly said, Someone to Watch Over Me, composed by Mr. George Gershwin, complete with pipe, as he composed it for the musical OK, 1926, where it was the standout song. It was sung by Gertrude Lawrence in the original production, and of course it's become quite a standard since. Well, it's interesting you say that about it being chilled, Alison, because when he composed it as quite a fast moving da ba da ba da ba da da ba dum da 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 da, and I would if I knew how to, Hannah. I'll need to read up about it. It literally just appeared. Not a clue. Yeah, so he composed it. But over the years, particularly in the 30s and 40s, it got smooched up, turned into a sort of bluesy ballad that we know. It is a really, really beautiful example of a Gershwin song, but then quite a lot of songs aren't they? So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that one. Now look, I'm giving you advance notice this time. I'm not able to be with you live. I'll look it up. Probably not at the moment. I'll look it up in just a bit. I'm not going to be able to be with you live next Sunday. But I've put something in the fridge for your tea, for your dinner set. You see, a very special programme. This programme's been a long time in the gestation. In fact, nearly 3 years. So I'm going to call it a special. So it will be there, as I say, waiting for you at 6:30 next Sunday. And it's got a subtitle. Its subtitle is M3P5. M3P5. Indeed, Auntie Roz, Someone to Watch Over Me is what you just heard. Standing for minor third, perfect fifth. Yeah, I know, a little bit of theory chucked into next week's programme. And every bit of music that is played in next week's show begins with the intervals of a minor third followed by a perfect fifth. We have touched on this before, and it's taken me a little bit of time to find 6 examples. Well, 3 years, in fact. I was at 4 for ages, and then I found a 5th, and then quite by accident found my 6th. And at that point I thought, this is the time to do this programme. M3P5, minor third, perfect fifth. So that is quite an interesting programme, the special next week. It is a recorded programme, but I think you will enjoy what we have to offer in that. You will certainly know quite a few of them because we have referenced that set of intervals before, of a minor third and a perfect fifth. You see, just by playing those notes like that, you're probably already off on at least 1, if not 2, of the songs that we are going to play next week. Look, we're going to go into our last bit of music this evening. I do hope you enjoy. A bit of drama for our final one. It's a first on A Date with a Dinner Set. It's not a first on the channel. It's on the channel as a video. First time we've had it in the programme. Do enjoy them. We'll say goodnight in our usual way. Indeed. Indeed. Indeed, as composed by the wonderful Mr. Alan Menken with lyrics by David Zippel. That was from Hercules, and that was Alan Menken's last film in the Disney Renaissance that he composed it for. So that film came out in 1997, and of course, it's just opened in the West End as a musical to mixed reviews. But that is the central song, Go the Distance. So well done, all you people that identified that. Thank you for a very lively chat room this evening. Oh, golly, what fun. I will investigate these silly crowns. We don't need crowns, do we? Do keep an eye out for... the crowns have got to go. Keep an eye out for next week's programme. Sorry I can't be with you live, but it is going to be nice to tie in together all those bits of music. You have already named, some of you, begin with a minor third and a perfect fifth. Thank you so much for being with me, with yourselves, with everyone on A Date Within a Set. Programme 261, July the 20th. Have a great week that is to come. Do take very good care of yourselves. Thanks so much for listening, and good night.